Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Pastor's Ponderings. One of the things that has been on my mind lately is the concept of the fear of the Lord. And so I just kind of wanted to chat with you. I know it's been a while since I've put out one of these Pastor's Ponderings, and I hope to be able to put them out more frequently. But one of the things that has been on my mind lately is this concept of the fear of the Lord, and it's so hard for children, adults, and people of all ages to truly grasp this, because when we teach the kids catechism, right? When we teach it in confirmation, we every single explanation it starts with we should fear, love, and trust in God, or we should fear and love God so that we, you know, and so right there we already begin with this concept of fear. And to to someone who hasn't wrestled with that, to someone who kind of hears that raw, it gives a really dark view of our faith and a dark view of Christianity, and it makes me kind of sad because that by itself gives a really negative understanding of the Christian faith, and really it's a lack of understanding of the Christian faith that comes out of it. Solomon writes in Proverbs 9 that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of God is the foundation of insight, right? Of understanding, right? So you already have this concept of fearing God being the foundation of wisdom. And the way that I've always thought of it is it's not like you're terrified of God, but you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong to not have a reverent fear for God, right? When you recognize what God is capable of, it's like coming up to a lion or a dragon, or pick a mythical creature that could kill you in an instant if he wanted to, right? That's God. God has that power and that might, and so having a reverent fear is understandable, especially if you don't understand who God is. But because we understand who God is, and we know of his love for us, and we know of his sacrificial care for us as his precious children, it reshapes that fear completely. And often it's better to describe it, instead of like a reverential fear, to describe it as a respect. Right? You respect a hot stove. It doesn't make it something that you don't use, or things like that, but you recognize that that stove could be dangerous if it turned on you. The joy of it is that we have the promise of God who loves us and cares for us so much, who has redeemed us and sanctified us so that we are no longer enemies of God, but we are his children. And so when we talk about the fear of the Lord, you have nothing to fear on this side of faith, right? Before that, and outside of that, sure, there's plenty of reasons to fear God. But no, as Christian people, as people united by faith, that should not ever be the reason that we do something, the reason that we care. It should not drive us toward him. It shouldn't be any of that. Our relationship with God is not one based on fear, but based on love. Recognizing who God is, that's a reverential fear. But recognizing what God has done for us, that's a love that purifies and strengthens and brings us together. It's a love that takes away our fear. And so if you're a Christian out there, and you're living in fear of God, I urge you to continue to study God's word, to study who he is, because you don't need to live your life in fear. Jesus' love conquers that fear, conquers anything that would separate you from God. And in that way, you are his beloved child. And I hope that as you consider your relationship with God, in the future, that you look at Ephesians 2 and Ephesians 5, that you look at Colossians and Romans 8, and you see God's love and his heart in the midst of all of it, right? yes, in our failure to grasp God, there's fear. But because God has revealed himself to be a God of love, there is nothing to fear. Trust in him, respect him, treat him as you would a loving parent. But make love the center of your relationship with him, and make love the reason that you want to serve him, not fear, love. God's richest blessings to you all. Have a wonderful week.